Good morning, students. This is another video of chapter 3 of Geography of class 10th. And in earlier videos, we have discussed the why water is one of the most important resources of all and why there is need to conserve water resources. And even 3/4 of the world's surface is filled with water. There are many parts and regions of the world which are going to face acute water scarcity in coming 5 to 10 years, and India is one of them. So first we'll understand that even in ancient India, kingdoms or the kings have awareness that there should be hydraulic structures to conserve our water resources or use water resources in a appropriate manner. So some of them are, first one is channeling of flood water at Singhaverapura near Allahabad. Second one is dams, lakes, etc. were built during time of Chandragupta Maurya. Irrigation works in Kalinga, Odisha, Nagarjunakonda, Andhra Pradesh, Bennur, Karnataka, and Kolhapur in Maharashtra. Bhopal Lake, 11th century. Here the book has mentioned that Bhopal Lake was built in 11th century. You can understand that today we are living in 21st century. Even that time people have awareness about the conservation of water resources. So it is very easy to understand why water resource is one of the most important and essential resource for our survival. Hauz Khas, Delhi, it was built in 14th century. Dhalavira, Gujarat, rainwater harvesting system 5,000 years ago. Grand ancient river Kaveri, 2nd century AD. You can understand. Grand ancient in river Kaveri, it was built in 2nd century AD. So here are some of the hydraulic structures made in ancient India. It is very easy to understand that even in ancient India, people knew how to conserve and use water in an appropriate manner. Students, our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, proclaimed dams as temples of modern India because modern dams are built for various purposes like irrigation, water for domestic and industrial use, flood control, recreation, tourism, inland navigation, fish breeding, hydroelectric power generation, soil conservation, and afforestation. So it is very clear that there are numerous of advantages of modern dams, which are also known as multi-purpose projects. Now, they are also being opposed for the following reasons: because they affect natural flow of water, there is sedimentation in the riverbed, there is loss of aquatic life and even the aquatic fauna cannot migrate, there is emergence of vegetation and soil, and large scale displacement of local community takes place, and local people are less benefited with these dams, and this cause social movements and social tension between the communities and government. Some of them are Narmada Bachao Andolan, Tehri Dam Andolan. Because of the dams, there is changes in cropping pattern, and this also causes salinization of soil. So it increases the social gap between landowners and landless laborers. And there is also interstate water disputes among states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu for the water. So dams are also affecting lives of local communities. Second point is, dams could not achieve the purposes for which they were built because it takes a lot of time and a lot of money to build a dam, and if dams are not operated in a proper manner, if the required target is not completed, if the purposes for which they were built are not achieved, then it is a loss of money. Instead of controlling flood, many times they have triggered floods in Maharashtra and Gujarat. This has caused extensive soil erosion, and this has also deprived fields of soil or natural fertilizer. Dams also induced earthquakes because there is a lot of pressure on the plates because water is stored in a large amount in a particular area. This has also caused waterborne diseases. Because of the waterlogging in the catchment area, there are more chances of waterborne disease in local community or local area. So there are many disadvantages of this multi-purpose projects for which they are being opposed in recent times. Now, rainwater harvesting, we know that it is very important to conserve water. So, rainwater harvesting is practiced in many parts of India, and Tamil Nadu is the first state which has made it compulsory. So, rainwater harvesting means collection and storage of rainwater for future use. It is done by building reservoirs like ponds, tanks, dug wells, and making check dams. It is a viable alternative to multi-purpose projects both socio-economically and environmentally, because these are not affecting lives of local community in such an adverse manner. India has a long tradition of rainwater harvesting system. Since ancient times, different techniques were used to harvest rainwater, groundwater, river water, and flood water. These all are mentioned in your book. In last page of the chapter, they have mentioned about the Meghalaya, where rainwater harvesting in terms of bamboo drip irrigation method they have used. Ancient techniques of rainwater harvesting. Here is a list of that. There are technique of guls and kuls in Western Himalayas, rooftop rainwater harvesting in Rajasthan, Meghalaya, inundation channel in plains of Bengal, khadins and johars in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, tankas in Bikaner and Barmer, Rajasthan, and bamboo drip irrigation system in Meghalaya. These all systems are used in a appropriate manner and to conserve water resources, as water is very important for any community to survive. Students, it is very important to understand that why rivers like Yamuna, they are polluted on a great extent that even the aquatic life is not able to survive there. There is loss of flora and fauna also, and aquatic life is badly affected by the industrial waste and urbanization. So, because of large scale industrialization and urbanization, which have a great impact and pose a great pressure on existing freshwater resources, as many MNCs, multinational companies, are being set up in India, and they are the heavy consumers of water for processing and discharging of effluents, and they also use it as an energy resource. That's why rivers like Yamuna are largely affected by industrialization and urbanization. Because of the hydroelectricity produced for industrial units, it has also contributed to bad quality of water. Bad quality of water means the quality of water is degrading day by day, because all the chemicals, fertilizers are being mixed up with the water, and due to this there is loss of aquatic life, and also the water is not potable. Because of modern lifestyle also, there is increasing demand for water, and when the increased consumption of energy, there is more pressure on the water resources, as we are also looking for food security, where there is a requirement to produce more and more food crop for entire population. So there are more pressure on the water resources, and they are day by day they are being depleted by the indiscriminate use of water resources by people in urban areas and in agriculture especially. Now, it is very important to understand what do we mean by qualitative scarcity of water. There may be an area which may have a good quantity of water available there, but in spite of that they may face water scarcity, as water is not available to drink, or water is not good for drinking or the household activities or purposes. Bad quality of water is due to industrial waste and impurities, due to chemical fertilizers and pesticides used in agriculture, which makes water hazardous for human use. This is the main reason behind the qualitative scarcity of water. So it is very important to understand that quantitative as well as qualitative scarcity of water can be possible in a particular region. What are the factors responsible for poor condition of India's rivers? As we are gifted by many rivers, but there is need to conserve these water resources, these lifelines of India. But due to urbanization and modern lifestyle as well as the large scale industrialization, there is poor conditions of India's rivers, and the main reasons behind them is growing domestic need for industrial, municipal and agricultural demand. Heavy load of untreated sewage and industrial effluents. In India, a country where rivers are worshipped as mothers, in that country, untreated sewage is directly mixed with river water, and it is the main cause of waterborne diseases as well the poor condition of Indian river. So these are very important points for you. Thank you.